So first I want to tell you about this crazy day and then why this song that I just played. I've been obsessed with Dominic Fike for a long time. If you guys have seen my stories and stuff like that, you probably know. Anyway, so so this song reminds me of this like really bad day, because it was like when I hit pretty much rock bottom of this year. And prefacing rock bottom, that doesn't mean like things weren't going fine in like life, like career wise. It was just like a mental state thing. But I made a post actually on Dumb and Wise maybe like 2 months ago. It was like, or 3 months ago, it was like August or something. And I had listened to this song before that post for like the previous 3 hours, because I just had it on loop and I really want to like think through things. I've just gone on a run and everything. But I posted about how like on this account, I posted about how I was kind of going through this like moment of hopelessness, really. Also helplessness to a certain extent, because I just had no idea what the fuck to do. And it was a really crazy feeling, because I always go back and forth, and tell me what you guys think. But I was going back and forth on this idea of like, if things are meant to happen, like fate and stuff, versus if things aren't really like meant to happen, you kind of just start going through life and it's just kind of up to you. But I've tried to, especially over the last year, think that everything happens for a reason and everything is, you know, all connected. So anyway, it was really interesting because I had been feeling this like hopelessness for like months. And this day that I listened to this song so many times, I had felt the worst. Like I actually was like giving up on everything, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like I don't know what my point is here anymore, which is super weird. I don't know exactly why I was in that mental state, but I had felt that for probably 7 months. From about February to August, and maybe like the first week of September, I had felt this like crazy feeling of like purposelessness, where I just didn't really care. And I still had things to do, and I had a lot of cool things happening in my life, and you know, I love, like objectively, I love my life. But like deep down, I was like, wait, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Like it felt like very surface level, if you will. It didn't have the why behind it. And I love having the why behind things. Anyway, I felt so insanely hopeless that day that I had to like, my like cry for help was posting on my Dumb and Wise platform. And then I reached out to a couple friends, and they reached out to me, and a couple other friends reached out to me, which I really was grateful for. And it hit so hard that I feel like I finally got it. Whatever I was meant to feel like hopelessness wise, I like felt so deeply that it was almost scary. And what was crazy about that is almost immediately after that, it started to go back up. It was almost like, again, this is why I'm saying like maybe everything happens for a reason. But it was almost like as soon as I deeply felt to the point of like almost getting like pretty scary, of like that helplessness, it was like my body was like, yep, cool, you found that part of your psyche, you don't need to feel that as much anymore. And things changed, and it started going back up a little bit. And I posted this too right after I went to Switzerland with my dad, first week of September. I talked to him a lot about this like helplessness feeling, or hopelessness and helplessness feeling. And he was like, dude, there's a lot of things you could do to like change that, and you have a lot of things to look forward to. And we talked about this concept of like, if you're in a bad place and you're not changing anything, like you're not doing anything different, then how do you expect your mental to change? And so I changed a couple of different things. And 2 of these things I think are the ultimate key to being happy. And so I want to talk about that first, and then let's go into like questions and shit like that. But first thing is what I posted about last night on my Instagram story, on like my main Instagram. It was about being busy. having things to do, being busy is actually like the God's gift to this world. I find, and you know, caveat, like there's plenty of reasons why you should be relaxed and whatever, but I'm talking my experience. My experience is every time that I have too much time to think, I find problems in my life. And every time that I'm so busy where I can't think, I'm the happiest. And it was funny when I posted that, like 4 or 5 of my friends that were also creators were also like, dude, that's exactly how I feel. I don't think humans are meant to be relaxed super often. I don't think we're meant to live in comfort forever. And if you have too much comfort and too much time on your hands, your brain figures out problems. They like finds problems for you to solve. And that's hard because it's kind of counterintuitive. Wouldn't you want to be comfortable? Wouldn't you want to have everything? Like, imagine, you know, I don't know, like a billionaire who doesn't have to do anything ever again. Why do they continue to work? Why do they continue to do things all the time? Why don't they just sit on a beach and, you know, drink mimosas every single day? For the exact same reason. Like, we're all human. Like, no matter what position people are in life, like, we're all human. So if we have too much time, too much freedom, it's actually a bad thing. So anyway, what I changed then with 2 things. So in middle of August, when I hit this like rock bottom, I was like, okay, for the next 30 days, no matter what, I am going to, 1, work out, which I've talked about this endlessly, but I think it's fucking fantastic. I think physical health has so much to do with your mental health. And second thing I did was make sure that I have at least 1 social interaction every single day. Whether that be reaching out to a friend and hanging out with them, whether that be like calling my parents, whether that be going to an event, even like hanging out with Colby and saying, hey, yo, let's do XYZ together, whether that was going on a date, whether or not that was throwing a party at my house. And I did. It was hard. But even like on random Monday nights when there was like nothing to do and I was like, shit, I don't know how to get my like social interaction for today, I would just call up a friend that I haven't talked to in a while. Even like random friends. And this was weird and this is really outside my comfort zone, but holy fuck, it changed my life. Like, super weird to get started with this, but everyone appreciates when you reach out to them and like say like, what's up? Like, a lot of people I hadn't talked to in like 6 or 7 months. I just gave them a call and was like, yo, what's up? I don't want to like catch up. Like, we're not going to like hang out or anything, but like, yo, like, well, you know, how are things? Talk me through shit, whatever. And it just like makes you feel good. So between social and physical health, I guess, whatever, but both of them could be like healthy things. That got me super busy and that got me to forget a lot about the sadness. And then also, like, a huge part of this was going to Switzerland with my dad. I think that was, like, super, super good. I think travel. Travel is great, but it's harder to do. But I think something that's, like, universal, everyone can kind of do, is social interaction or physical health. Like, if you are not working out, that's fine. Not everyone has to work out. But, like, anything. Go for a walk. Do something even 30 minutes a day. Like, I started training for a marathon, and I actually don't recommend you training for a marathon. It's like fucking intense. And I'm like injured right now, and it's kind of ass. But what I would say, even better than trying to do something big like a marathon or climbing Mount Everest or some crazy shit, I would say like go on a fucking walk. Do something for 15, 30 minutes a day, and you will literally change your life. I swear to God. It was really cool. The other day, I think it was like 2 days ago, FaZe Rug, you guys like see all the videos with him. He's awesome. One of my best friends ever. I think he's genuinely one of the nicest humans out there. Anyway, we were talking about life and stuff, and we were both like talking about like the mental stuff. And we talk probably like once a month about like mental stuff and check in with each other. But, you know, I always tell him, and we always go back and forth about the idea of working out and how much that affects mental health. It's so weird because people are like, how is going to the gym going to make me feel like mentally healthy? And it's just like, I don't know. This is probably a very, very stereotypical answer, but like think of your body as a like a machine rather than just like this emotional human being floating on a rock in the middle of space. It is like a machine. So both physical health and then also like actually like what you consume, what you eat is going to drastically affect how you feel, how like your health is. So we were talking on the phone and he was like, dude, I really want to get into working out. And then I was like, yeah, me too. Like I've just been running, but I want to like work out. And so we've been trying to like, text each other about like working out and keep each other accountable. And that's how I like got started working out in general. Like when I was first getting into running, I had no desire to run at all. I fucking hated running. I don't think anybody likes running, by the way. So when people are like, how do you get into running? No one likes running. But when you do it over and over and over again, it's addicted to the feeling of working out. And you like runner's high is a legit thing, but it's just like after you get into it. So it's just starting, and especially when you have a friend or someone that can keep you accountable, that is like 100% the way to do it. So yeah. Moral of the story is I had a really fucking mentally rough year, and then the last 3 months have been so incredible. Like, so incredible. I've been so happy. And a lot, almost, I would say probably 90% of that happiness is because of working out and the social calendar. I literally put on, I don't know if you can say, I have like a whiteboard back here. I literally put on my calendar, like, every day, reach out to somebody. Like every single day, talk to somebody, make a plan. If you don't have plans, then make your own fucking party. Like invite 2 or 3 friends over even. Or if nothing is going on at all, call your mom. Like just be like, what's up? Or like text your brother and sister. Like it's all good. Like I didn't mean like crazy social thing every single day, but it was just something, and that changed my life. I was seriously like down bad mentally. But I think this world is, not even just this world, but I think specifically humans are meant to be in a community. I think if you don't have community, you struggle a lot. And so, even though it's hard to make friends, especially now, especially on social media, just a simple text, being the first person to reach out is huge. I know it's so awkward because trust me, I wasn't good at that this year. I actually was really, really bad about it. Especially I was in a relationship for a while and I really didn't talk to all that many other people. And so getting out of that and then reaching out to a bunch of people was hard to get in the swing of things of hey, do these people want me to reach out to them? I felt that too. And I'm sure everyone feels like that. But think about when you get a random text message, a random call from a friend. It's oh shit, that's awesome. And it feels so good. It feels so good to have a random person reach out and just be like, yo, I just want to catch up. I just want to hear how you are. Even if you don't really know them that well. I had a friend group a couple years back and there was this guy in this friend group I didn't really know. So it started off a little awkward, but once a month pretty much, even though we weren't super, super close, he would call me and he'd be like, yo, what's good? And I was like, yo, what do you need? What's up? How's it going? He's like, I just want to catch up. I just want to see how you are, check in, make sure you're happy, check in to see, if there's anything I can do to be a better friend. And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't say that to him, but I was just like, that's insane. Maybe that's an LA thing, but I hadn't had many friends do that ever until that a couple years ago. And I would recommend that hardcore. And this is what I've been doing over the last couple of months. Like I said, on the days that I couldn't actually physically hang out with anybody, just call a random person. And they're like, why are you calling? Just to check in, just to say what's up. Just to 30 minutes. How's it going? What have you been learning? What have you been working on? I think it's amazing. It's beautiful, and it really makes them feel like you care, and it builds that friendship so hardcore. So that would be a huge thing. And I've thought about this a lot too. I saw I don't know if you guys know this guy named Mark Manson. He writes the book Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I met him the other day, which is awesome. He's a huge inspiration. But one of his recent emails he sent out was about the idea between the importance of friendships, family, and then relationships. And so many people nowadays, I feel like, focus on relationships. Romantic relationships, like, is what I'm talking about. And he posed the question, hey, imagine a life where you had a relationship, but absolutely no friends and no relationship with your family, versus a life that you had no romantic relationship, but you had really, really good friends and a really, really good friend or family relationship. It's like, what's easier to live with? And as hard as that is to admit, it's like it would be a better life if you had to choose between the two. It would be a better life if you have really, really good friends for the rest of your life and family relationships than if you just had one like romantic partner. And so I don't think that this modern age values friends as much as they should. And I've had to learn that too, because like I think, and this is like I don't know if I've talked about this much online, but I'm very much like a romantic person. Like I'm like, since I was a kid, I was kind of like relationship-y obsessed. Since I was in 8th grade, I don't think I went a single year without being in a relationship. So, recently, as I've gotten older, I'm realizing how hard that had been on my friendships, and like focusing so much on relationships as opposed to my friendships. And so I would advise, especially people that are younger, as you get older, it's so difficult. Seriously, it is so difficult to keep friendships, especially nowadays. So I would say, like, while you have like friends, especially when you're in school or when you have your first job or something like that, hold on to those friendships and those people that you have that you feel like are best friends when you graduate high school or college or something like that. Those are the ones that really, really, really stick with you. And if you can have those, that is beautiful. There's a select few friends that I have like before, before all the social media stuff. Like, you guys know Nate. He was part of like the movie this year, and our buddy Alex Lorai, we call him the Lorax. Like, they're fucking awesome. I've been friends with them as long as I've been friends with Colby. And that relationship, both of those relationships are kind of difficult to sustain because, they have their own lives. They live in different states. But we always try to call each other. We always try to do a yearly trip. We start like inviting like Nate when he can, like on like these like videos and stuff. So we try to make the effort, and that effort has always been worth it. So, yeah. I don't know. That's a lot of it. But there's talking about community. There was this one thing. Also, super down to like get into questions and shit. So if you guys have like questions about anything I'm talking about, or questions about your own life, like, feel free to ask them. I'll try to go for it. But last thing, I would say the best thing I learned from my dad when we did this trip was his philosophy, like his formula on how to be happy. And a lot of that comes down to what he calls ICP, and it stands for identity, community, and purpose. Identity, community, and purpose. So we talked about community. I think humans are community-driven creatures. I think we need people. I think shared experience. Shared experience is both the happiest experience and where all comedy comes together, where all movies come together. It is the point of life, shared experience. And you share experience with the people that you love. It's your community. So definitely community. Identity is like who you think you are. Like, do you know what type of person you are? And like, if someone were to come up to you and say, like, describe yourself, not using like your name or your job, like describe yourself. Who are you deep down? And are you comfortable with that person? And then P is purpose. It's like, do you have that why? So like I was talking about in like August when I was kind of going through it, I had identity. I knew I was like this social media dude, this YouTuber. Like I had plenty of identity. I didn't have a good community. Like I said, I lost a lot of friends this year. And then my purpose, I had no purpose. For some reason, I just couldn't muster up like, I don't know. I couldn't muster up what the fuck like I was going to do. And so trying to be able to equalize like your identity, community, and purpose like makes you happier. And so if you ever are feeling a little down, like ask yourself which one of those three are lacking, and this probably will tell you where you need to work on your life. Or like what things in your life you could probably improve on to improve your happiness. But anyway, I think it's really cool to kind of like dumb down happiness and to like those three prongs, because it makes it easier. When you just think of like how to be happy, it's like such a big question. But when it's only three questions, and it's like more direct questions, as opposed to like just the whole broad emotion of happiness, it's a lot easier to digest. So there's that. I'm not a therapist, trust me. But I did go to therapy this year. I'd recommend it to everybody. Yeah, therapy actually helped me a lot, now that I think about it. So, shout out this dude, Dr. K. If you look up Dr. K on YouTube, he goes by the channel name Healthy Gamers GG for some reason. I think he's like a gaming dude, but he's also like a therapist or a psychiatrist or something. He gives a lot of really, really good advice. Is therapy scary? Yeah, for sure, because there's a stigma around it. But in therapy, nah, it's not scary. It's like your personal conversation with people. But it's scary because people would like judge about doing therapy. But what's cool about like social media and like influencer people is I feel like it's becoming way more mainstream to do like therapy stuff. So I would go for it. Maddie's like, therapy is worth a chat. Fucking go for it. Any advice on working on social anxiety? Shroom34. I used to have a crazy social anxiety. For example, when I was in like middle school and part of high school, I would like cry if I had to talk to somebody. Like if the teacher called me out in class and like made me speak, I like literally would have tears in my eyes. It was like that bad. And I'm not an expert in this, but the way that I overcame social anxiety was exposure therapy. Just doing it a lot. And doing it a lot with people that you trust. So like for me, I had Colby, but like if you have a group or like even like a club that you go to, or like a team organization thing go to, like exposure therapy, just be in social settings often. Because if you're always there and if you're always like, in social settings, it becomes a little less scary each time. I used to go a little crazy about it, and my way of doing exposure therapy was Colby and I would go to like the mall, and he would dare me. He'd be like, okay, you have 5 seconds to go up to that person and say hi. Just say hi. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to start a conversation. Just say hi. We go up, say hi, and then walk to the next person. We do it over and over and over and over and over again. And then we'd be like, okay, now you have to say this and then actually stay there for 15 seconds for a conversation. And then do that over and over and over and over and over again. And then over 2 years, it got from, okay, hey, can you go say hi or high five this person, to, hey, like, go up to this person, do a full-on like interview or dance in front of them or whatever like that. And then boom, like I had way less social anxiety over like 2 years of like working on it. But like again, not saying everyone has to go for it that hardcore, but my best advice would be exposure therapy for sure. Sky is chill. What is the greatest memory of your life? That's really interesting. I was thinking about this today at the gym, and I've done a lot of like really interesting things, and I'm super, super blessed because I've been able to do that. But still, when I think about best moments of my life, it is all top 10 moments of my life are working together with people that I love on a goal that I believe is valuable to me. And then the best ones are when I succeed about that. So my final run in high school was at like this tournament, or I don't know what it's called. Like, I don't know, finals run or whatever, some shit like that. It was my last run of high school. I've been doing cross country for like 3 or 4 years. I had never broken 20-minute 5K, which is like 7-minute mile-ish, 6.5-minute mile-ish. And then I was like, hey, can like my family, like, hey, can you come to my last run and like help me time this out and like, you know, shout out times at me and like tell me my pace and try to help me like beat this 20-minute PR, personal record. And we did, and it was amazing. Like, I had my parents like go every like half a mile to a mile, and they would all shout out like times and pace and try to like help me like beat this mile time, and I did. It was like a final run after 4 years. I got to share that experience with people that like really, really care about, obviously, my family, and so that was one of the best moments of my life. It still is. Yo, what's up, Ricky Ireland? Ricky Ireland is a fantastic example. Ireland boys, I don't know if you guys remember, we collabed with them a couple times. They're actually also the people that we went to jail with. They are some fucking awesome dudes. They talk about this stuff all the time. They're like, they use their platform for such positivity and like happiness. And they are so much more about like, yo, like go out and do shit. You have one life. I think they have like a whole brand about like having one life and like not wasting that opportunity. Just like go for it. And I think that's fucking awesome. So shout out Ireland boys. Fucking love you guys. That reminds me actually, like just fucking go for it. One of these things, I posted this like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago too. What's so funny about life is people try way less than you fucking think. Everybody that's out here, everyone's putting a facade on, especially on social media. So whatever you think someone's actually going for and like succeeding at, sure, they might be successful, whatever, but they're definitely not as chill as you think they are. Like everyone's scrambling. Everyone's just trying to figure this out. And what I mean by that is, okay, so like I'm 27 years old. When I was 17, I was like, oh, dude, when I'm an adult, when I'm 27, I'm gonna have it all fucking figured out. I'm gonna like be an adult. And adults just like get it. Fucking no. That is not how it happens. Your parents are just kids trying to figure it out, just like all of us. So what that means is if you have that mentality in life, you just try 10% harder than everybody else anybody else out there, and you will succeed. Trust me. Everybody else has no idea what the fuck's going on. If you just try, say yes to everything. Like, put in the effort. Be like, oh, I don't necessarily want to do this, but I know it's going to be good for me. Then do it. Just go for it. Because, like, at the end of the day, there's this, like, really famous speech. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe I'll post about it someday. But this guy is going on this rant. And he goes, dude, does everyone not fucking realize we have one life? We have one life. We don't get a do-over. You don't get to live 16 years old again. You don't get to live 21 years again. You don't get to live when you're 30 again. So, like, if you don't go for it, then you're just leaving things on the table. Like, what what is the point of not going 100%? That's my question. And that's like literally my philosophy on one, being busy, but also just how to get the most out of life. Don't leave anything on the table. Just try harder. One, you're gonna succeed because not everyone's trying hard. Like I'm saying, everyone's trying to figure this shit out, and people are actually not trying as hard as you think they are. So just fucking grind. Go for it. Say yes. Do the thing now. Don't wait, and you will just, one, have a happier life, but two, you'll get so far ahead. So far ahead. Speaking from experience, again, this is not to brag at all or anything like that. I was the most mediocre piece of shit ever in all of school. That was my number one thing that I hated when I was a kid, is I was so mediocre. I was literally like, I don't know, if there's like 10 people on a baseball team or whatever, I was like number 8 of like skill level all the time. All my basketball teams, I was like second string shit. Like I was never like the best at anything. And I also was named Sam. There was like 14 Sams in my grade. I was just one of the bunch. And I was like, dude, I'm just like super average. And now I just decided, like, I don't know exactly when I was like deciding, but it was like around freshman or sophomore year. I just decided to try harder than everybody else. I was not better than anybody else. I didn't have like a million things handed to me, but I made opportunities happen because I just tried really fucking hard at like everything I did. And I can stand behind that because I genuinely think that's true. I like really like went for it. And then it paid off like in a big way, and it like allowed me to have some crazy experiences in life and crazy opportunities. And so